Hello, my name is Lizzie. This is Lizzie's Literary Life, and today we are doing a Christmas 24 in 48 hour readathon. The cats are interested. So the plan is to spend the next 48 hours doing nothing but reading and sleeping, with the goal of reading for a total of 24 hours within those 48. So I'm going to be using Bookly as a timer to have a timer running when I'm reading and stop it when I'm not reading so that I can actually track how many hours I have read. So I'm going to try to read for half of the next 48 hours. I don't know if I'll succeed. I kind of feel like I won't, but we're going to try our darndest. And Pumpkin is going to help us, right? Yeah, he's going to help. And I am only going to read Christmas-themed books. So I have a ton to choose from. I have Kindle Unlimited this month, and I also borrowed a couple from Libby. But I have like 10, most of them Christmas romances. There's one Christmas mystery that are on my TBR for this readathon. And you can see the cats spilled food in the background because they like to knock over their food instead of eating it. A lot of them are really short. I have like a bunch of novellas in here, so that will help me to read a large number of books for the title of this video. But the goal is hours. So I'm going to start with The Christmas Pact. It's by two authors, and I cannot remember their names, but the cover will be on the screen. It's about 160 pages. I'm hoping to finish it super quick and get into the mood of this video. So, Merry Christmas. I may have overestimated my ability to read romance because I am 30 pages in and I'm already like it's so gross. It's so gross. I don't like straight people. I think they're disgusting. That's all. Okay, it turns out that I just can't stand the male perspective. That he's like, whenever he's like, I want to devour those lips, I'm like, ugh. It's disgusting. It's disgusting, and I don't like men. That's all. So I finished The Christmas Pact. It took me about 54 minutes. It was not good. Like, I did laugh at points just because it was so awkward and bad, but not my cup of tea. And I'm bouncing between a 1.5 and a 2 star. I feel like I shouldn't give it a 1.5 because other things in this video might be worse. And then I'll be stuck with like no way to like compare. There are other books that I gave 2 stars that I liked better than this, so I think it has to be a 1.5. No, okay, I'm gonna be generous and give it a 2 star, but I might end up amending that. What's next? Got my Kindle here. I think I'm gonna start a longer one. I'm gonna start The Holiday Swap by Maggie Knox. Which I actually saw. I was in New York the other weekend and I saw someone reading this on the train. It was a book of the month book. I like, whenever I see someone reading a book on the train, I'm like, I have to figure out what it is. And right as she got off the train, I was like, it's The Holiday Swap. Anyway, so I'm gonna read that book. I think it's about twins. It's like The Princess Switch. It's about like twins who are bakers and they swap places or something, but we're gonna find out. So I'm reading The Holiday Swap and I do not like it. So it's about these twins and one of them just sucks. Like, she's mean and selfish and doesn't care about her sister. And so like annoying. I'm like, how does she suck so bad? Like, what? Yeah, it's the Princess Switch plotline, except one of them's not a princess. She's like a baking show host. And it's not very good. But I have read for a little over 2 hours, and I'm going to go to bed and get up early tomorrow morning to give this thing my all, see if I can read for a full 24 hours. I kind of doubt it, but we will see. We're going to try our best. Good morning. It is 6:15 a.m. and I am ready to read. I got my coffee here, and we're gonna read all day. So hopefully I don't fall asleep. So it is now like 10 a.m. and I've read in the past 4 hours since 6 a.m. I read 1 hour, a little more than 1 hour, which is not great because I did fall asleep. But in that 1 hour, I read about 20 minutes of The Holiday Swap, and then I switched to my audiobook, which is The Secrets of Winter House by Ben Guterson, which is actually a sequel, but I do not remember what happened in the first book at all. Like, theoretically, I read it, I just don't remember it. So I'm just trying to figure it out as I go along. But it's a middle grade little fantasy mystery situation. I'm going to get reading. I'm ready to get some serious reading done today. Let's get reading. I finished The Holiday Swap by Maggie Knox, which is actually a pseudonym for 2 authors. I found out at the very end during the author's note. And I'm giving it 2 stars. It was not good. The ending was like sweet, and there were parts of it that were sweet, so it's not like as bad as the other one, but Charlie made me so mad. Like, she was so mean to her sister, and like just such a bad sister and friend. And she, like, I don't know, it like was made out to be that they both ruined each other's lives, but really no, that was a one-way thing. Like, Charlie was being awful and Cass was like totally being reasonable. So that was not great. And there were, I don't know, it just bugged me the whole way through. But there were things about it that could have been worse. So I'm giving it 2 stars. I have now read for 4 hours and 7 minutes out of the 16 hours and 20 minutes that I've been doing this challenge. So we're not doing great. We're not doing great. But I'm gonna get going, keep reading. What am I gonna read next? I think I'm going to read the mystery next. I'm going to read, because that's actually on my TBR for December, so I have to get that read. It's called Christmas Caramel Murder by Joanne Fluke. And it's just over 200 pages, so it should be pretty quick. And I am actually looking forward to it. It's not a romance. Looking forward to a break from the romance, so I'm going to get into that right now. Hello, I am here with Pumpkin. I'm working on different angles in my vlogs. So here's a different angle for my vlog. I finished Christmas Caramel Murder by Joanne Fluke. It was bad. I was hoping that this would be good because I'm like reading so many romances and there was this one mystery, and I was excited for it, but it was bad. It was like, I don't even know where to start. There were like extensive pages and pages of descriptions of food, but not even like in a good way, descriptions of food can be good, but it was like, for lunch I had this and this and this and this, and then it tells you how to make it, and then it has a recipe, which I skipped through, but it would like in the prose also tell you how to make it, and oh, there goes Pumpkin. And there would be like discussions of like recipes, and then they would give you the recipes. It was like, this was a recipe book. It was a frame for a recipe book, and the murder was like, I don't know, it was weird. It was weird, it was bizarre, and it was boring. But I read it. I think I'm now up to like 5 and a bit hours, and I took another nap, so we're not doing well time-wise, but I am up to 5-something hours, and I finished 3 books, so that's pretty good. Hello, you get this angle because Pumpkin's on my lap and I don't want to move him. I just finished A Very Grumpy Christmas by Jerica Macmillan, and I actually kind of liked this one, or at least did not dislike it. I thought the plot beside the romance, it was about it's a grumpy sunshine, but the grumpy dude has a much younger sister, a 6-year-old little sister that he has custody of because their parents passed or in a car accident earlier in the year. And this is their first Christmas without their parents. And our sunshine girly works as an elf at a Christmas thingy thing. And so anyway, I thought it was sweet, and I didn't get mad at it very much. So I'm giving it 3.5 stars. I now have been reading for just over 8 hours. And I'm gonna keep going. It has been 24, so I've read 8 out of the, or 20, yeah. It's been about 24 hours now since I started yesterday, so I've read it for 8 out of the 24, which is not quite where I need to be, but honestly, not as behind as I maybe thought I would be. So we're going to read some more tonight. Before I read this one, I was thinking I was kind of burnt out on Christmas books, and I was gonna give up and read something else, but I think I can do another one. Good morning. It's the next day. I just took a shower, obviously. Last night I did finish The Mistletoe Bet by Maren Moore, and the cute little doodle illustrated cover did not give me fair warning that this book was 50% smut. More than that, probably. It was there was this much plot and that much sex. And I was like, okay, okay. I gave it 2 stars because it wasn't bad. If you know what it is going in and that's what you want out of it, it's not bad. It's just not what I wanted out of it. So yeah, I gave it 2 stars. This was a novella. It was short. We have reached the point in the readathon where the number of hours I have left to read to reach 24 is more than the number of hours left in the readathon. So, I knew halfway through yesterday, I knew I was not going to succeed. And so I kind of slowed down a little bit, but also whatever. I'm reading a lot of Christmas books. There's Clementine. Yeah, but I'm still going to read a lot more today. I've read for over 9 hours since the start of this, which means I have 14 and a bit hours left, and it is 11:30 a.m. I had a slow morning, so I'm ending at 7, which means we have 7.5 hours left of reading. But in that 7.5 hours, I'm going to try to finish 3 more books. So that would bring us to 8 books for the readathon, which I think is pretty solid. I'm going to try to finish The Secrets of Winter House by Ben Gooderson, which is my audiobook. And that's the middle grade. And I'm going to try to read the entirety of 'Tis the Season for Revenge and 1 more novella, because I have a couple other novellas from Kindle Unlimited. We're going, and we're going to keep going. So I will check in once I've read some more of something. Okay, I finished. Pumpkin is here and he wants to eat the mic. Pumpkin. I'm gonna say Pumpkin is finished. Pumpkin can't read. He's a baby. I just finished 'Tis the Season for Revenge by Morgan Elizabeth. And this actually, this challenge started off so terrible. The first few books I read were so bad. And then this one was, actually really fun. Pumpkin, that's not for eating. Um, it was like if you took Legally Blonde and Mean Girls and put them together in a holiday romance. This is what you would get. It was very fun. The like premise was that we have this girl who has been dating this guy for like 4 years, and he treats her terribly, and she's always wanted to go to his like office. He's like a big shot lawyer. She's always wanted to go to his office Christmas party, and he's never taken her, and he ends up like breaking up with her in a really terrible way, and she's like, I'm gonna get revenge, and she makes this plan with her friends to get with his boss, and then, you know, they end up falling for each other and whatever. But it just was like the way that the plan was cooked up with like her and her friends, it just was really fun. And then I thought like a lot of the I don't know, it just was fun. There was a lot of stuff there that I really liked. What I did not like at all was the weirdly possessive language during the sex scenes. It was like, it's romance books are always like this, but this was like out of control. And this guy who I generally liked when they were not in bed kept being, and this is a family-friendly channel, but he kept being like, I'm gonna F you like a real man. I was like, so gross and not good. And I didn't like it. So I really, really, really did not like the sex scenes. But other than that, I enjoyed this book. So I'm going to give it 3.5 stars. On par with the other one, A Very Grumpy Christmas, which also was it was less fun. It was less like lighthearted because there was a more serious plot line, but it was still like, it was good. I liked it. So yeah, that's my 6th book of the readathon. I have not actually calculated how many hours I've read so far. It's like probably like 10 or 11, and we're getting up, it's 4:30, we're getting up to 7 p.m., but you know, it's okay. I had fun. So now I'm going to finish The Secrets of Winter House, which is my audio. And then depending on what time I finish that, I have like an hour and a bit left. I should be able to read another novella. So yeah, I'm having fun. That one was fun, except for I just like skip the smut. Especially if you're not a smut person, just skip it because it's kind of bad and nothing important happens during those scenes. So you have full permission to read this book and completely skip the smut. But otherwise it was fun. My 48 hours are up and I have read 12 hours and 45 minutes. So I was like halfway there to 24. That's okay. I'm pleased with myself. I read 7 books, which is pretty good. I need to wrap up The Secrets of Winter House, which I didn't remember what happened in the first book. This is the sequel to Winter House. And so I was like kind of confused. And then at the end, I was like kind of falling asleep. So I think I kind of missed something because I didn't really understand what happened. But also I didn't understand what was happening throughout because it was like based on stuff from the first book that I didn't remember. Anyway, I gave it 2.5 stars because it wasn't bad necessarily. I just didn't, it was not a great reading experience, but you know, it was fine. Anyway, to wrap up this readathon in its entirety, I read 12 hours and 45 minutes. That was 7 books, 1,875 pages, which I think is pretty solid. And I am now very close to hitting my Goodreads goal, or my Storygraph goal. So I know I will, which is very exciting. And the best book I read in this readathon was 'Tis the Season for Revenge by Morgan Elizabeth. It wasn't phenomenal. There was a big thing that I really didn't like about it, but it was a 3.5 star. It was definitely the best out of these, followed up closely by A Very Grumpy Christmas by Jerica McMillan. And the worst book of this readathon was, surprisingly, Christmas Caramel Murder by Joanne Fluke. It just was bad. At least with like these smutty romances, I can be like, they're good for someone, you know, like it's not my thing and it's not great, but like it did what it set out to do. I feel like Christmas Caramel Murder did not do what it set out to do. So that was a 1.5 star, and the lowest 1.5 star. So, yeah, that's my readathon. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. This was an experience. This was an experience. I don't know if I'd ever read a holiday book before, like a Christmas book before, besides like Fat Santa, which was my favorite Christmas children's book as a kid. I should read Fat Santa again if I can get my hands on it. It was about like a little girl who like stays up to wait for Santa, but when Santa comes, he has a really hard to get stuck in the chimney because he ate too many Christmas cookies. And she has to help get him down. And then he's like, I'm not going to be, the chimney next door is even smaller. And so she has to go and do his Santa duties for him. And he gets to just eat more cookies, which good for him. Anyway, that's irrelevant. Comment down below something. And I will see you in the next one. Bye. Time for pizza.